Hi, have you gone shopping for perfume recently? Well, first of all, I think if you go shopping, you're going to need an adult with you. Some of the names are amazing. Romance, allure, intimate. I mean, besides the hype that goes into it and usually a picture or a slogan behind it, each one of these wonderful fragrances promises you that you'll become the most desirable human being on earth. And this is great. Who wouldn't want to be desirable? So enjoy your perfume. But I have news for you. Smelling good is relative. So if you were to ask a farmer, what is a really good smell? Perhaps it would be freshly plowed garden. I know someone actually close to me. There's nothing more pleasurable for this person than freshly cut grass. Perhaps for children, it's the smell of the kitchen. A lot more alluring than perfume. Perhaps if it's a handyman who's building his backyard deck and comes back sweated and needs a shower, that's healthy. Smells wonderful. So my friends, smell is somewhat relative. What do you want to accomplish? Who do you want to impress? And what does this odor say about you? You know, we have a statement that in paradise, Gan Eden, there's like the reach of Gan Eden, the smell of paradise. Sometimes children say, Ma, the challah smells like paradise. It just smells like paradise. This is not perfume. This is bread baked in honor of the Holy Sabbath. Well, the story I'm going to share with you is a true one, though it's not for the faint-hearted. It happened in the bad days when Stalin ruled Russia literally with an iron fist, and in the late 1920s was very, very powerful and very anti. Did not allow Jewish people to openly practice their religion. And he essentially cracked down on teachers. For him to raise the next generation of Jewish children studying Torah was truly a crime. What did some very pious people do? They would go underground. And it was mutual self-sacrifice. The parents knowing that if the children would be found, they would be sent off to an orphanage. The parents, were they to be found out, might be sent to or docked from the pay. And for the teacher, a trip to Siberia was not out of the question. So the story goes about a Rabbi Hirsch, an old-timer with a beard, very dedicated, very pious, who was willing to risk his life for God and his Torah. And there was a group of families that got together and had Rev Hirsch teach their children. Of course, it was in a secretive way. So in the courtyard, there were guards to make sure that in case any officials are coming, they should quickly tell the people in the building where to hide and how to hide, whether it be the attic or maybe be the backyard, or I'm not exactly sure myself where they hid. The story goes that one time the Rabbi Hirsch was teaching, and for some reason or other the guard was not attentive enough, and there was a knock on the door, and there were agents checking to see. They had been told that there's a class. The children immediately scattered, some hiding underneath the bed, some perhaps running out and jumping into the next door apartment. But where would Rev Hirsch, this older man, go? He certainly did not fit into the house. It was clear that he did not belong there. He could only be there for one reason, that would be teaching, and that would be the equivalent of proclaiming, I am a teacher of Torah under Stalin, and he would be sent to Siberia, which of course not only was a danger to him, but for the children as well. They had to think very quickly and drastically, and one of the people suggested to Rav Hirsch that there's only one place to hide, though it's really unheard of, and that is they had an open cesspool. There was some type of an outhouse in the backyard, and it was always covered with a heavy wooden cover, and they would throw all kinds of unsavory things there. Obviously, that would be the one place that no human being would hide in. If he wants to save his life, that's his only option. And it takes longer to say than it actually happened. And he quickly ran out. Two people picked up that big heavy board. He jumped in. The stench was unbearable. They put it back on, and the door was opened. The agents come running in, looking, and of course everyone tries to act as nonchalant as possible. What are you looking for? There's no one here. And they start looking through quickly the rooms, and they say, we're looking for a Rabbi Hirsch. We heard there's a Rabbi Hirsch. And he said, there is no Rabbi Hirsch here. After a couple of very harrowing minutes, they left. When they left, and the front door was closed, they immediately quickly ran to the back. They picked up that heavy wooden board. Rav Hirsch literally was immersed in the type of mire and filth that one could not describe. He was more dead than alive. The stench was overwhelming. They took him, they took off his clothes, they threw him into some type of a bath, and they tried to revive him, and they did. But not only was he weak from the experience, but that couple of minutes, the stench sort of was absorbed in his body. They didn't have fancy perfumes or shampoos or exquisite soap or a spa-like. This was all done at home. Anyway, that night, he went to the synagogue. Older people still congregated. When he went into the shul, everyone turned to face him. They knew who he was, but this time there was a terrible odor coming from him. After being scrubbed from top to bottom, there was still an odor emanating. And then became a very interesting debate. Are they permitted to pray in a room with Rav Hirsch when the room smells like an outhouse? After all, prayer has to be done respectfully. And the rabbi at that time then said, Rabbi Hirsch has the smell of paradise. True, someone not knowing the history would say, this is horrible. Who did not take a shower, blah, blah, blah. But we know where that stench is coming from. He risked his life for Torah and for mitzvahs. A smell like that can only be seen as the equivalent of perfume. So friends, I leave it up to you. Do you think you smell well? Are you proud of your smell? You don't have to go to an outhouse, but a healthy perspiration doing a mitzvah would do wonders for all of us. Shalom. May we work up a healthy sweat for the sake of God.